Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to understand the lead code problem number 33 36 33, and it's earliest finish time for land and water rights. So there will be two things we have here, one the land and the water. So two type of category we have given here. Okay, we'll talk about more what the question says that here. Okay, the very first thing that it is saying that we have two categories of park that we have given, right? Theme park we have given two type. The first is land and another is water rights. So in the land we have the land rights. In the land rights we have the start time and the durations. As you can see here, start time is the earliest time the ith uh, land right can be boarded, and then we have the duration, how long the ith land lasts. Okay, similarly we have the water rights where we have given this water start time, right, and we have given this thing, right. Similarly we have the water duration, we have given how long the water rights last. What the question says that it is saying that we have a tourist, right, exactly one ride he can take from each category. He needs to take, basically it's compulsory, he has to take from one ride from each category. So it is saying that a ride may be started at opening time or any later time, right, moment, and a ride is started at time t, it finishes the t plus duration, and immediately it finishes the one ride. Tourist may board the other, or he can wait also. You have to return the possible time at which the tourist can finish both rides. Okay, for example we have given the land start time, land durations, and the water start time and water durations. So let's talk about more so you can understand the problem, and this is what the question we have given. So we'll talk more about this problem so we can understand easily, and then we go for the coding. Okay, so we are going to understand lead code 3633, right. So it is the earliest finish time for land and the water rights, right. What we have given is we have given two categories we have given of the theme park, that is the what land rights and the water rights, and in each rights we have given the start time. For land rights we have land start time, and for land durations we have land durations. Similarly for the water we have water start time and water durations we have given. Correct? Easy. The most important thing what is compulsory here is the tourist must experience exactly one ride from each category. That is the main thing we have to understand. How it will do, that is different thing, but one thing that you should understand, it's very compulsory. Goal is you have to return the earliest possible time. Why we have to return at which both rides is getting finished. Okay, what next? What next? So basically till now that we have discussed here, right, the problem says that the problem asks you to pick exactly one land right and exactly one water right, in either order, and returns the earliest time when both are completed. Correct? So a ride can start at its opening time or later, or after finishing the first ride. Correct, guys? So let's suppose that some important things we have given. Okay, from both side, the this side we have also given, and this side we have also given, this side also given, this side we have given, right. So when the first ride, let's suppose at I we have the first ride. So when he completed its first ride, so immediately he can start the second ride at I plus 1, or he can move here, it depends on him, or he can wait. So this thing you should also consider. Okay, let's talk about the most important thing in this problem, that is the that we should understand is idea, right, key idea we can say that. Okay, what is a key idea here? There are two possible rights, right. One, let's suppose order one is go to land, and then water you have to go. Order two will be first go to the water and then go to the land. Correct, guys? So we can say These are the only two possible right order. Can we say that? The first thing is order 1 is and order 2 is. Order 1 and order 2. Right? The order 1 is first you go to the land, right? And then go to the water, right? Then another is either you go to the water and go to the land. So these two order. So for any chosen order, right? I can say for any chosen order, right guys? What we can do? We'll say okay, first write finishes at time. What should be the time? We can get from where? The first start. First start time, let's suppose, and the first duration. Correct? Two things we have: first time start, let's suppose start time, and the duration. So that we can take. Correct? So this is the thing. Then this is about the first right? Let's talk about the second, what you call the second right. What about the second right? Second right not finishes, it starts. It's right, okay. So for second right starts at where? At time is, we have to take the max. Correct? Max between what? Think. The second right should start at where? The first finish time, right? And there should be second start. Where the second will start, right? Second start. Am I correct? I'm saying first right start at time, where we have given the first start time and the first duration. It is very simple, right? Most important is about second right. Second right will start at where? The first time, first finish time, and the second. Where this first right get finished, that time, and where this second right will get started. If the start time is maximum, right? If the finish time is maximum, which one is maximum? That max, because let's suppose this is maximum, so we cannot start at here, right? We can go here. If it is more, means we have to go here. Understand? Means that thing you should understand. Okay, now let's talk about the total finish time. Total finish time. How we can find the total finish time? Let's think. The very first thing is that we will take the max between the first finish time, that we have used here, right? Same thing we'll use here, comma, the second start time, this one, right? Plus we have to take the second duration. We have not talked about here how much time we have took here, how much time it started here. Means I'm trying to say is it will start at the max between the first time and the second start, right? But it will finish at some time, right? So that duration, start and the finish, there should be some duration. So this duration is called second duration. Understand? So this we have to think about. I hope till now you don't have any problem. Okay, we'll understand through the example, don't worry. Okay, so keep it a note, this one, it is very important. Let's suppose that now it's very important to understand. Suppose we do the land first, then water. This is our order. first land, then water, right? Means land and water. Can we see that? So for each ride, we have to compute what? We need to compute when it ends, right? So we can say for each land ride. For each land ride, what we need to do, guys? For each land ride, compute when it ends. Can we say that? It means land ride timeline we can calculate, right? How we can calculate? I'm talking for each land ride, we should compute when it ends, right? So if we know that for the land ride, then we can also compute when it ends, right? So let's understand through the example, right? Let's suppose, guys, land we have that start at 0. So this is called start. Okay, at 2, the very first land 0, start at 2, correct? And we have a duration which is 2, correct? Start at 2, and duration is 2. Okay, for land 0, it means we can say 2 until we go to the 6. If we can make it 4, sorry, if we can make 4, right? Length 2, started 2, and duration is 4, correct, guys? We are talking about the 4, but we did miss that. Okay, so start at 2 and duration is 4, right? So we can say, okay, the timeline is look like this one, right? Start at 2 and it finishes at after the value 4. Means if we will understand on the timeline, how will you represent it? We can represent easily. Let's suppose how. So there is a timeline. So timeline before this, what will be there? So obviously it will be 1 here, right? Here what will be there? 2. 2, after 2 it should be 3, 4, 5, and this is already 6. Then it will go the line like this, like we have. It could be 7, 8, and so on, and there can be 0, like this. Basically I'm talking about this is our timeline, right? So we understood that from here to here, right? This will be our timeline, correct? And for that it becomes the duration like this, right? Let's go similarly understand about the example for land 1. Will say at land 1, this time start is at, let's suppose, is 8. Okay, guys, and we'll take a duration. Let's say duration is 1. Then you will understand. Okay, this is the example we have given. Okay, so let's suppose the start we have given and duration we have given. It means what? If you go to this timeline, I told you that its timeline, it will keep going like this. Means there will be 9 and there will be a 10. Means for this case 9 to 10 will be our another duration, correct? Means I'm talking about it will become 8 to 9 as a duration, as we have understood there, right? For this part, so this will become for this part. Understand, guys? Sorry, right? Easy. So the best first ride is simply the one that finishes earlier, right? Correct, guys? Which finishes first? Obviously the 6 finishes first. So what we can say, okay, the best first ride is simply the one that finishes earliest. Correct? It means if I'll say mean land and, it means the minimum between 2 plus 4 we have checked, and 8 plus 1. Both finishes at this point, right? The first finishes at here and second finishes at here. So we'll say, okay, the mean is 6 and this become 9. What is mean here? The 6. So this is the value where the first ride is finishes earlier, right? Correct. So now try every water ride as the second ride, right? It means what we can say, now try every water ride, we can say, right? Water, because this is line ride, right? So water ride as the second ride. Correct. So for a water ride, for a water ride, right, what we need to think the very first thing, that for a water ride, water opens at water start time, right? That we have seen, means water opens at water start time at, let's suppose, call j. If this is I, we can say j, right? So this opens at j, right? It means you can start it at, where we can start, if you'll find the max value between the mean land end that we have talked about and the water start at j. What is the time? It means this one I'm talking about. Okay, so if that we will find, we can easily find it, right? So we'll say that, okay, so the land, let's go here. So the land first finish time equal to what? We have to find the max of earliest land finish, where the land finishes earliest, and the water opening time. Correct, guys? But we have to do plus the water duration. Okay, this is most important thing. We have already talked about it, but that we earliest land finish, then the water opening time plus the water durations. Let's understand through the example so you will understand clearly. Okay, let's go with the example one. The very first thing is we have the land start time. A land start time is at 2 and 8 that we have seen, right? Then we have a land duration, and it finishes at 4 and 1 that we have already talked about. Now we have about the water start time we have given, which is, let's suppose, is at 6 we can say, and water duration is at 3. Now we have already seen that. Let's talk about the timeline again. It's fine. So let's say timeline. So for the land 0, it goes to start from the 2 and goes to how much at it goes at 2, finishes at 4, means it goes to the 6, right? And similarly with the 8 and goes to the 9, huh? Yeah, so land 0 will go to 2 to 6, correct? Let's talk about the water. For water 0, start at 6, goes to 3, it finishes at 3 time, right? Means 6 to, it will, let's suppose, no, not here. If we'll try it like this, let's say, if this is a timeline, right, that it goes, it means this timeline keep going here. The water starts at 6, right? So we'll say 6, start at 6, but it goes after, let's suppose, 7, 8, here is 9, so we'll say at 9 here. So it finishes, it means from here to here and from here to here. Understand? So we'll say, okay, it means the finish is at 9, correct? Water finishes at 9. That is the best answer for this example, guys. Okay, I hope you understand. Pause it and try to understand what we are trying to say here. Okay, now there is one question: why we only need the earliest finish of the first category, right? Let's talk about that. So I'm trying to say that why we only need the earliest finish of the first category, right? I know you have the answer. Why we only need the earliest finish of the first category, right? Let's talk about that first. For a fixed order, let's say we have land to water, correct? So imagine two possible land rights, right? So there is a land A and it finishes at 6, that we have already seen. Then we have land B, it finishes at 9, right? Land A, land B we are talking about. So two things we have, land A and land B, and each finishes at this time. So for the same water right, for the same water right, it finishes at 6 and it can never be worse than finishing at 9, correct? Because if I'll say the max between 6 and the water start time, right, we can say, if it is less than equal to the max between 9 and water start, correct? The water start and the water start, the same thing. Let's leave it for here. So when we choosing the first ride in an order, we only care about that, the ride that finishes earlier, right? So we have seen that, right? So in this case, right, we should check the max between these and it should be less than equal to this, right? Because the water starts at 6, right? And if we say less than equal to the 9 and the water mix, so the water finishes at where? At 9, right? So when we are choosing the first ride in an order, we only care about the first who finishes first, or the early finishes earliest, we can say, right? Let's talk about the algorithm, guys, right? Let's talk about the algorithm. So how we are going to compute, it is very important to understand. So there will be answer 1. The very first is best finish. time for land to water. Okay, answer 2. The best finish time for water to land. Either of these two cases will be there. Okay, and both you have to compute this and this, right? Once you compute these two, just at the time of return, you do what is the mean between answer 1 and answer 2, and you will have the answer. Okay, I hope you understand here. Okay, let's talk about some helper function that will help you in the computation. So helper function will create, let's suppose call calc. Okay, where you will pass the first start time and those things, right? And the first duration. I will not give the time and this one. So and first time and first duration, right? They can be, then we have to pass the second start and second duration, right? Two things we have to pass. So what does this helper function will do is, basically the very first thing you need to do is find earliest ending time, right? First now find earliest ending time. Okay, ending time in, or you can say among all first category, right? Okay, very first you find the earliest ending time among all the first right category, whatever the first right category you are doing, either the land or the water, right? Then step 2, you should try every second category right, every second category right. Okay, once you completed the first, either you are choosing land or water, any of them, now you need to try every second category. Okay, then for each second right, for each second right, what you should do, very important thing, you find the finish. So let's say this is your finish, and finish we can find where max between earliest first and the first right where it ends, and you know that how to calculate that, right? Then there should be a second start at I, we can say, let's take I. Okay, so once you find this, right, or let's, you should add one more thing, and plus the second duration. Second, we cannot forget this second duration. So two things, the very first is the earliest finish time, and second is the second finished plus second duration. Then you can find the finish. Okay, let's talk about the very last point. You need to return the minimum finish time. You know how to do that. So when you return the minimum time, right, so you know that there will be two times we have to return, so you will get the answer 1 and answer 2, and finally before returning you will get the answer minimum between answer 1 and answer 2, right? So this way you can implement it, right? And you can show your skill how to implement. So I would suggest that you pause this here and try by yourself. If you're not able to do, you can see my Java code and further, right? And you can build. Let's go to the Java code and we'll try to like on the console and we'll try to implement it. Okay, let's talk about how to implement this. The very simple, this is very simple, guys. So the very first thing that we have given land start time, land duration, water start time, and the water duration. Okay, so the very first thing I'll say, we need what? We need very first, let's go with the land then water. Okay, so I'll say the land then water. I'll give the name, or you can say land water. Okay, so we know that we have to calculate, calci method will call, and will pass. The most important thing is the land start time. So very first thing that will pass the land start time and the land duration, we can say, correct? Land start time and land duration we will pass, correct, guys? Then we have talked about that we will pass the water start time, water start time, and the water not water water duration, right? Duration, water duration. So two things we have passed, land and the water, correct? So it should return some data that is called the land then water, right? Similarly, we'll create int, first we'll call water, then land. Okay, and we can calculate similarly. CLC will pass and will pass the water start time, first water start time, then water duration, then what we have is land, right? The land start time and the land duration. Okay, guys, we have talked about these two things we need to do, right? Once you calculated the land then water and water then land, means you have the minimum values, right? Or some values you already have. It means you should return your answer. What is the answer? We have talked about, you check the math.mean will call and which one is minimum, right? The very first we have calculated is land then water and water then land. So both thing we will pass, and obviously once you have already calculated, we'll return the data, right? I hope you can do from here also. You can use the algorithm and you can do. Now this is the template that we want. Then how we will implement the calci helper function. So let's understand. To create the helper function, we'll write private int, because it will return some int value, right? It will return, right? And we'll give the same name as we have already called. So we'll pass the array here, right? You can use from above also, it's fine. So let's say this is called the first start. Okay, this is the first start. Then the first start, then the first duration will say int first duration. Okay, then we'll use the second start, int second start, and this will also be an array, don't forget that. And second int array second duration. Okay, guys, then we can start right? The very first thing what we need to do here, we have to find the earliest first end, right? So let's call that, give the same name, earliest, yeah, earliest, earliest first, and we can say this is we need. So what we will do, if we want the max value, sorry, mean value, it means we have to take the max value here. Let's take the integer infinity value we will take, and whenever the duration will find the minimum, then we will update it, right? We will track this minimum and we'll update if the we get the minimum value. Okay, so I'll start from the integer, we can say, dot max value. So we'll start from here. Okay, or you can take any positive max value that we want. Now what we want here, guys, think, we want to pick the first category, correct? First category, we want to we want to pick the first category, right, that finishes earliest, right? Earliest, correct? Can we say that we want to pick the first category, right, that finishes earliest? And for that, what we need to do, we have to traverse over the start. So we'll say int I is equal to start from the 0, and I should be less than first start dot length, because this is array, so we can call the length and I plus plus. So we can get from here, right? Now what we need to do is we will check what is the minimum value, right? And then we will update. So what we need to do, let's call the, we have the earliest first and we can update if we will find the minimum. How we can find? We'll say math dot min. So the, if the earliest first and we have that, we have already taken the positive infinity. Otherwise, we will take from where? The first start and the first duration. If we'll do the add, what is the value there, right? So we'll say first start. Remember, start at 2 and goes to 4. It means we got how much? We got 6, right? So we have to update the 6 like that. So first start at I, let's suppose call 2 in our case, and plus first duration that ends at that duration is at I, right? Duration, yeah. Here we got the 4. So this case, here to here, it will give you first start is 2 and this is 4, so it becomes 6, right? So on the timeline we have 6 there. First is finished at 6, right? Like that we will find. So if it is minimum, it will go to the earliest first finish is at 6, we will find, right? Let's move ahead. Okay, what happens? Okay, some, yeah. Okay, guys, let's talk over here. Once you find, you have to, once you find the earliest first end, right? So you will update it, right? Once you update it, now you need to find the best finish. How will find the best finish? Similarly, create the best finish. Okay, because we have to iterate over the second one, and then basically we want to try on each second category, and then we'll find it. Remember the algorithm that we need to do the same thing here, right? So we'll say integer dot max value, and what we want, guys, we want to try we want to try what? We want to try each second category, right? So whatever the second category you have to write that, right? And we know that first time the land, and then the water, and the water that land. These are the concept we are trying, right? So create the for loop, go with the for loop, start with the int. You can say j also, but I'll take the same I, 0, and I should be less than second start, we can say, right? Second start. We have second start dot length and I plus plus. So we can traverse over the second category, guys. The very first thing that we will find in the second right side, where the second right start, right? So we'll say second right start. So we'll say second right start at where? So we'll say math dot max, you say, and you pass the value. So we'll say earliest first and the second start at I, we can say that. So we can find this value, correct? What is the best finish we have? Best finish, we can find best finish. Best finish is equal to second right start, we can say, that we have just calculated, plus best finish means the second, where the second right finishes, and where the second right started, yeah, where the second duration finishes, right? The second duration, we can say, right? Second duration, right? I think we have talked about already this one, where the second finish will start. The second right where it starts and the second duration, correct? Then we can find the best finish. Oh yeah, correct. It will work, don't worry. Then we will find the best finish. How? Just we need to update. Let's call the math, guys, math dot mean, we can say, and we'll pass the best finish, right? Best finish we already have, so let's give this name, right guys? Best finish time, we can say, best finish time. So we already, the best finish we already have infinity, so we can call this function and we can say best finish time. Best finish time. Best finish time. So best finish time. I hope it's fine. So this is best finish. We have defined at line number 17, right? And we have calculated the best finish time at line number 22. So whatever the minimum will come, we will update our best finish. Yeah, it's fine. Once this is done, guys, right, you need to do is return best finish. That's all. Okay. So I'll remove this space. Okay. This is what we want. Let's try out. It's fine, right? Let me try.
So two fixes you need to do. The very first is you check the land duration or water duration spelling. So the spelling mistakes could be there. So you fix that, and you will see at line number 14 also the earliest first and we have to write. So and we are missing. So it's fine. So you do the fixing of the character and the variable name, and after that you know that what you need to do. The very first is you calculate the land and water at line number 3, and then line number 4 water then land. Once you calculated all of this using the calci method, the helper function, then you will return the math mean. Whatever the mean value will be, that you will return, that will become our earliest finish time. And for the helper function, you know what you need to do. You will first pick the uh, you will first pick the first category and you will find the earliest time. Once you will find the earliest time, then you need to find the best finish. What is the best finish will be there. Once these are calculated, you will return the best finish. Okay, that's all I have in this video, guys. In case if you're struggling with anything, let me know in the comment section. And if you are struggling with DSA preparation, you can join our online classes, and for that you have to reach out to me through the WhatsApp. And that's all I have in this video. Thank you so much, and let's see in the another video.